on our journey, we have come across people who have told us that we need to protect ourselves, or we need to put this shield of energy around ourselves so that we are protected from negative entities, negative energy, negative things. I'm sure the person that told you to do this didn't really mean to harm you at all. They wanted you to be protected, which is a good thing. I'm not saying that these little bubbles of protection are bad in any way, any means. They're not a bad thing. But what I am gonna suggest here is, why were they created? Give you something to think about. Why did you create this? What are you protecting yourself from? And do you still need it? When I look at someone and I see the three different areas, the physical body, the first circle of energy, which is the chakras and the aura of the person, and then I see this third energy thing, a lot of times I'm noticing that the third energy thing is created by all of these different layers of protection. I just want you guys to know that protection you're adding to yourself is holding things in. So you may need to let it down every once in a while. Not to mention that throughout all of our lifetimes that we've had, you may have created one in another lifetime that has come over to this lifetime. You can't see it. You didn't realize it was there. And so you created another one on top of it. Some people have thousands of these. Thousands. Why? Why do you need so many? And are they really helping you? Because not only are they keeping the negative things out, but they're also keeping positive things out. And you need the light. You need to be able to allow the light to come in. You know, it's like you feed the body healthy foods, but you're not feeding your energy body with the light that it needs because it's getting blocked. Plus, something else to think about, if you take it down, if you have all of these removed, is there really something there? I mean, what are you protecting yourself from? My own experience, when I first awakened, so to speak, and I could see these little negative things, whether it was a negative ball of dark energy or it was an actual physical looking like negative thing, my first reaction was to get rid of it. Like, I wanted it gone. I didn't care what it was. I didn't ask it any questions. I just got rid of it. Well, what I'm learning is that some of these things are actually parts of us. So in your quest to get rid of these things, you may be throwing part of yourself out. One of my cousins, I love him. He's helped me grow spiritually more than he realizes. He had some of these little dark things in his house. And he was actually, encapsulating them somehow, like putting them in this little vessel and sending them off. And I was like, no, you shouldn't do that. I mean, like every little cell in my body was saying, no, you shouldn't be doing that. But that was how he learned, how he was taught how to get rid of these things. But what he doesn't realize is that some of those things are actually part of him. So, say we have a traumatic event, we have a negative emotion, and it's inside this little bubble that we've created with us. And you see it, and your first reaction is, oh my gosh, we got to get rid of that. We can't have that in here. And you don't stop to ask what it is. I mean, I think you should look at it and examine it. Ask it why it's there. Why do you have this little negative energy thing there? Because it could be that it's something that you need to resolve. It could be that it's actually part of you. And so if you toss it out, you're tossing out part of yourself. And that's going to keep coming back to you. You're going to have to heal it somehow. So, for me, if I see I can see entities, and so sometimes I will see like this little angry little looking thing. And my first reaction is just get rid of it. Now, my second reaction is, I'm not afraid of it, so I may as well ask what it wants. Because if you don't solve whatever it wants, it's just going to keep coming back. Now, there's a difference between yourself, the negative energy that you put out and that's hanging out around you, and then the negative energy that other people send to you. I mean, think about how many people you've pissed off in your life. You've had someone come up to you and they had this angry face and they were so mad and they were just bound and determined that you owed them an apology or whatever it was. You had something to resolve with that person. Say you didn't resolve it. And then all of a sudden you notice you got this little angry thing that keeps hanging out around you. And your first reaction, let's scoop it up and toss it away. But did you resolve the problem? No. Is it going to come back to you? Yes. So, I don't know. I mean, I really think that the best thing to do is to just face it. Face it. You're bigger than it is. You're stronger than it is. Ask it what it wants. And try to resolve it. Try to negotiate with it. If you can't do it yourself, you are more than welcome to ask the entities to help you out. They will. Ones of the light. I mean, use discernment when you're getting rid of these things. So you have this bubble of energy around you and you're protecting yourself. Nothing wrong with that. Do you know what you're protecting yourself from? Maybe you do. Maybe you don't. And do you know how many layers are actually there? So, as you ask for healing and you go through the process, the layers that no longer serve you will be removed. Nothing to worry about. You've probably got 100 more layers on top of it, 100 more layers underneath it. I mean, if it's not serving you, you need to get rid of it. You need to allow yourself to be able to receive energy. And having all these layers, it has desensitized you. So when you walk out into nature, into, the living library, and you say, hug a tree or pick some flowers, do you feel the energy of the tree? Do you feel the energy of the flowers? Or do you have so much protection around yourself that you're actually blocking that stuff out? I mean, it's definitely something to consider, because I know that I'm guilty of it. I know many people who are guilty of it. I haven't met anyone yet who is not. So having some protection up is good, yes, but you need to specify what it is for. And so say there are negative beings on this planet, and you want to make sure that you are protected from those beings. okay, this little bubble that you put around yourself, you need to specify what the bubble is protecting you from. And then you need to also specify what you would like to be let in. People forget that, or maybe they're just not aware that they have to be specific when creating these things. You have to be. Because if you're not, you're going to block out 100% of everything. And then where are you? You're like lost in the dark. The sun might be shining, but you don't feel it. And that's not necessarily a good thing either. So as you go through the process of the full body healing, you will notice that these layers are going to be removed too. The ones that are no longer serving you. The ones that you no longer need. The old ones that you've drug over from past lives that you no longer need. And then you may notice that other things, the negative energy that is actually part of you, that you need to resolve and turn into light, you might start noticing those things. And if you do, it's okay. Just figure out what they want. Figure out what they need. Give them some love. Turn them back into light. Because if you keep tossing them away, that's just more things that you have to go and collect in the future so that you can become whole again. I hope this helps. I mean, I'm not saying get rid of all of your protection. I'm just saying consider how you've constructed it. Make sure that you're more accurate, more precise when you're constructing it. I mean, don't just throw one up and say, hey, I'm going to put this layer of protection up and I'm going to block out everything negative. And then you're inside your little bubble of protection and all of a sudden one day you notice you got negative things in there. Well, those negative things, they didn't come from outside your bubble because your bubble's protecting you. They came from inside. And who's inside? You are. So that's what I have to say about that extra layer that I see around people. It's actually something that you have created. Some of these layers, they actually are well guarded, which seem weird to me to investigate. When we ask the angels for protection, like say you invoke Michael, the angel Michael, and you ask him to protect you from things, he does. And so you have to ask him to put that down again, because you might have only needed it for that short amount of time. So why are you keeping it? To some, this might sound a little strange, but you never know what you did in a past life. To others, you may understand completely what I'm talking about. And if you don't understand, then you need to ask for an understanding of it as it's being removed. You may also notice that some of this crap that's circulating around you, once you remove some of those layers, that crap will be released. Because if you have, say, 5,000 of these layers of protection around you, in between each of those layers, there's crap. There's so much crap in some of them that, I don't even know why we have it. If you just get rid of the outer shell, it starts to lighten up. So some people, when I look at, they look very dark, kind of foggy, and I know that it's not the actual person, but it's all this crap that's floating in around them. And some others who have received healing, and some of these things have been dissolved and removed, they look a lot brighter. And they just look bright. And it's because they don't have all these layers of film over the top of them. So the protection is a good thing. Just be specific when you ask for it. And for those that put protection around other people, I've had people do this to me. I've talked to people who practice Reiki on others. and they always leave them with a bubble of protection, whoever they've worked on. It's great. I totally believe that we have to protect the people that we are working on while we are working on them. And then once we are done working on them, you need to trust that that person has enough protection wrapped around them already, that they don't need what you placed on top of them. So be specific. Be specific when you are giving these things to other people, because you're the one going to have to remove them. So think about it. Think about how many you put out there and how many you should probably go and take back. I mean, I know that you didn't do it with harmful intentions. I've done it. I've had to go back and clean up my own messes. So just make sure. And if you're working on somebody, maybe you could just say, okay, well, this bubble of protection is going to last for like 4 hours, you know, and then after 4 hours it'll be gone. Or, you know, I mean, just be specific with what you're requesting it for. And if it truly is like a healing bubble of light, you know, you can say that once all the light, the healing light has been absorbed, the bubble will be gone. I mean, that sort of thing. So just be mindful. Be mindful with what you are placing out there around people. On the flip side of that, there are people that maybe don't like you, and so they've tried to imprison you in some way. And so they've, you know, like, there are people that are into witchcraft and spells, and they cast things on others that are negative. And sometimes they're able to create this bubble to, like, imprison you. Not good. Not serving you. Needs to be removed. So that's what you are receiving. So as you are watching these videos, as you are noticing the subtle changes over time, you will notice that these different layers that are on top of you will be removed. You will also notice the implants will be removed. You will notice your blocks kind of fading away. And then as these things are being removed, we do have to heal the energy, to heal the person, and it actually soaks down into the physical body. So you're going to notice those things. It's going to take time. I mean, nothing is a quick fix. You just have to commit yourself and say, okay, you know, I'm committed to healing, I'm committed to changing, I'm committed to a better life. And then as these things are removed and your healing begins, the moment they're removed and replaced with light, you're going to notice. So feel free to share along the way. And if you have any questions, once again, you know, feel free to ask the entities that are working on you. Feel free to meditate. You can always ask for dreams, and then ask to remember the dreams in the morning. Write them down if you do receive one, so that you can go back and read it later, because during the day you will forget some of the details of it. And that's about all I have on these little bubbles of protection that we put ourselves and others in. I'm not saying they're bad. We didn't do it to harm someone. Well, some do, but I know I didn't. So I've had to collect my little bubbles from everybody and just trust that they got it. They got it. They know how to protect themselves with these things, and their guides are protecting them, their angels are protecting them, and whatever wording it is that you use and that you believe in, just trust. You know, give this person their journey. You know, let them live. Trust that they know what they're doing. They're being guided along the way. So, hope you guys are having a great night.